Hello Flosstube, welcome to Grandma's World. I'm Debbie, and I know it looks like I've been absent a while. I haven't really. I've been recording content. I just haven't been posting it because at least the last three things that I've done, I wasn't happy doing them, and it came through in the channel, and that's not what I want this to be. I want this to be fun for me and hopefully fun for anybody who drops in to see it. So I've done some reflecting on the experience. I don't want to stop doing them. They're fun, and but I'm going to redesign it, get things back to kind of what my original vision for my channel was, which was to have it be a place where I could record a lot of content on a lot of different things, to be able to look back on my progress on things that I do, from gardening to cross stitch to quilting to home renovation to not cooking, because I'm not a cook. But there's a lot going on in my life, to travel. There's a lot going on that I wanted to document and put up, so that I could go back and enjoy it in the future, and so that I have family really all over, friends and family all over the world, so that they could pop in and see what I'm up to when they want to catch up. So what I'm going to do now for Flosstube's going to be a playlist in Grandma's World, and we're losing the light, the clouds are rolling in. When I got home last night from my mom's, I went from bright sun and 10 miles later just really foggy here, because that's how I'm close enough to the coast that when it rolls in we get it. Anyway, messed up the lighting. What I started to say is I am dividing the channel up into playlists. There will be Grandma's Garden is there, Grandma's Golden State is my travels around the state of California, whale watches and that kind of thing. There will be one, as I get started back into quilting again, there will be a playlist for that. But what was happening is I was getting these really long posts that had a lot of stuff jumbled in, and I want to keep it focused by hobby. Keep it focused by hobby. So so this is Flosstube, and this is going to be the cross stitch part, which is probably the thing I enjoy doing the most next to gardening. I'd rather be out in the garden for 6 hours, but I'm getting too old for that, so I have to divide my time up. And I have made some progress on some things that I've been working on. One of them, I started Tiny Modernist. It's a mermaid life. I have a specific place in mind for this. I have the finish in my mind, how I want to finish it, and once I know where I want to put something and how I want it finished, I tend to really barrel ahead on it. So I've made some progress with it. I have altered it for my own situation. For one thing, I despise palm trees, so I took them out. And then this mountain range back here, I've never been to Hawaii, but that was the first thing I thought of, was Diamond Head, pictures I've seen of the Hawaiian volcanoes covered with snow there on an island in the Pacific. And that doesn't mean much to me. I've never been there, but I do spend a lot of time in the Pacific, on the eastern part of the Pacific. Here in California, going out in the Channel Islands and going whale watching. So when I go out, one of the islands that is in our area that we go whale watching to, or we're off the coast of it, is called Anacapa. And when we head out in the morning, it's usually foggy, and this is my view of Anacapa as we're heading out. So what I've done with what I did was chart this silhouette to put as my background on my version of mermaid life. and I'm really happy with it. And then there is a lighthouse on Anacapa that looks like this. And so I charted it and added it to the island. It's not a photographic thing at all, but that does capture what I see when I go on the whale watches. So I have finished the first mermaid, put in the couple of whales, the boat. In the original chart, this is a red and white sail, but the boat I go on is a blue and white boat, or a white boat with blue trim, so I decided to change the sail color. And I got some of the sea life in. And it's fun. I love these kind of charts where you say, okay, today I'm going to do these fish. All right, today I'm going to work on this octopus. And you actually get to see that progress happen. So I'm happy with it. I'm going to continue to make some adjustments. My very best friend, who just moved to another state, is African American, and so I'm going to, for representation matters, I'm going to change out this mermaid and make the changes to honor my friend and have it represented. Have her represented. She's the one who introduced me to whale watching. In fact, she used to do it as a career in Washington State off the San Juan Islands. She, I guess, would row out in a little dinghy and sit and do census on orcapods. So she's the one who got me interested in it. She went with me on my first whale watch, and it's been a nice experience. We haven't gone out together since, but we're trying to. She wants me to come up for a visit. She just, like I said, she just moved to Washington State, and she's already planning how we're going to spend some time off the San Juan Islands. The rest of the time I've been working on this one. I would really love to finish this before the 4th of July. I don't think I'm going to make it. But I was always attracted to this figure here in this chart. Lost my touch here, how you go about this stuff. I always thought she'd be fun to do, but I had never paid attention to the words here. And then something came across YouTube, and maybe I was watching Lindy Stitches, and she was talking about it perhaps. But I actually took the time to read this, and it just reignited my patriotism, because I said, this is the country I want to live in. This one here. It says, a stitch for sweet freedom and one for being kind, two more for diversity, the last for humble mind. And I said, that's it, I have to have that, and it will be an integral part of my 4th of July display, which I haven't put up for 3 years just because I was so burned out. So anyway, I've been working on that one, and I have gotten this far on it. I love working with these colors, and I think this was one of the ones where I actually just, in fact, I think this one I had bought 2 sets of the called for colors because I ordered them from GaRon Tottenbags, and then I think I had also ordered the pack from her. But they're classic color works. I think this is one of my first experiences with them, and I really love the colors, working with these colors. I like variegated flosses anyway. They're not practical all the time for everything, just for the expense if nothing else, but I really am enjoying it on this one. And I decided to start making some project bags, and this was the first one that I've made with vinyl. I made a whole bunch of just plain zippered fabric bags for Mania last year, and I'm part of the GaRon Tottenbags Bag of the Month Club. So I get the really big good ones. I have one to show you here in a minute. The latest one is seriously the most joyful bag I've gotten in a long time. But I wanted some vinyl fronted ones. My hope is to use the big GaRon bag to cluster things in a style, or buy a design or something like that, and then use the smaller vinyl forward fronted ones like file folders within that bag. So anyway, I went and bought this fabric. It's a Susan Wingate Birdies. And they're not on trucks. I'm not fond of all the truck fabric, but I thought these post boxes were really cute. And of course, daisies are always a happy thing. And so I did I think it's Jenn Crafts, something like that. This was the one that she was teaching. Really fairly easy. I'm not interested in going into the business. My mother looked at it, she says, oh, you can sell these. I'm like, no, not gonna do that. But they take some time, and they're worth what you buy them for. But I have, as a quilter, I have tons and tons of fabric that I love, that I have started making project bags out of, and so I'm going to keep doing it. And I really like making bags that fit the project that I'm working on. So that one was a winner for me. And really, I have worked on other things in the last 2 months where I've filmed the content and filmed the hauls and done all that. And I'm just not even going to edit them. I'm not going to try to do anything with those. I'm just going to let those go, start from scratch, and stay focused on cross-stitch things when I'm here on Flosstube. So that was my progress. And then on my plans, I have, I guess I'm going to combine plans and haul, because I keep watching Flosstube and I keep seeing things I didn't know existed, and I keep pausing it and running in there and on the other computer on my desktop to order things, and it comes in, and I'm at any rate haul and giving credit to people and to experiences. One of the best things that came out of COVID for me, when I look back on this experience of being locked down and having just a very small pot of people that I interacted with, at the top of that list was my mother, who's 89, who needs, maybe she doesn't need us there to make sure she stays safe, but we need to be there to make sure that she stays safe. So I'm there 3 days a week, or for a few hours, 1 day a week for the whole day, and a couple other days for 5 hours at a pop, just to make sure she's gotten something to eat and doesn't have any needs that we're not meeting. And what she likes to do more than anything is work puzzles. And we got hooked on Buffalo Games Charles Wysocki puzzles. And I just love this guy's art. Just, it's great stuff. And so I was really interested when it was Keep On Stitchin'. Pam was showing her progress and then her finish of a cross-stitch piece based on a piece of Charles Wysocki art. So of course I had to go to eBay and see what I could find, and I was so thrilled to find this kit. It's an Old Dimensions kit from, let me see if there's copyright on here, 1999. And the scene is called Cozy Cove. It's not full coverage. Anywhere that there's this ivory showing here, and the beach, and up in the sky is the ivory colored Aida that came with it showing through. So, and what size was that? That was a 18 count. it's a big piece. It's going to take me a long time. And so what I'm doing is kind of gathering everybody's rotation ideas and their accountability ideas and really wanting to come up there. I'm a process stitcher. I don't really care what I'm working on. As long as the needle's going down and up, I'm happy. But there are some products I would like to get out of it at the end. And that usually makes me more focused. But as a rule, I'm just flitting from one thing to another. And I'm really impressed and inspired by the number of floss stitchers who have worked out accountability for themselves, structured schedules, and they're making progress. They're getting things done and being able to finish them and putting them up. So I'm kind of leaning that way. At any rate, I bought the kit. I don't trust the amount of floss that's in the kit. So yesterday, took my mom out to Michael's for the first time since the lockdowns began. She was so excited to be out. We got her the basket, and I had her in the wheelchair and just pushed her around the store, and I had a kind of a tote bag hanging from the handles, and my stuff went in there and her stuff went in the basket. And anyway, one of the things that I did was stock all the floss in DMC for this. And there was a dimensions conversion. There is one online that you can use as a starting point, and then from now on it will just be me getting to a section on the chart and double checking my floss to make sure that it's not too far off of what I'm seeing. So I got that yesterday. What I do when I need to go to Michael's or Joann, I take my cards that I'm going to put the floss on with the numbers on them. I go through my duplicates bag and just check off the ones that I don't need to buy any more of. And then I take a little box of some kind to carry it in, because otherwise it just goes through the holes in the shopping basket. So I put all my stuff in here. I just put that on the counter. She takes it all, we dropped it out on the counter, and she just ran it through the cash register scanner and put it right back in the box. She said, "Wow, you're really prepared to do this." I said, "Yeah, I've learned." It's just a lot easier if you've got something to put it in as you pull it. And then I want to make a project bag for this, and I want to make one for my mother too. While I was buying this one on eBay, I also found a set of Christmas ornaments that were adorable. And so I bought that one, and then I bought one for her. I had shown it to her first. It's called the Eastern Shops or something like that. And it's not as complex as this one, but it's definitely Waisaki, and it definitely says Waisaki to her. So at any rate, I got online. I, of course, had never heard of the guy, but in 2019 there was a whole line of fabric for Northcott that he designed, or that they took his designs and made a fabric out of it. And someone still had some, so I was able to get the houses. And as a companion, I got the bricks. But I also am just so tickled by the livestock. I'm not sure that they're going to work into these project boxes, but it was so cute that I had to order it. I didn't get these at eBay. I got these from a couple of different stores. And if I can find my receipts, I'll put them in the... well, I know where I got this. I got it from the Arkansas Stitch and Post fabric store, and she had to call me. There was a kit, a quilt panel kit that went with it, and she didn't have it. I wanted it because the bottom of it was my favorite Waisaki puzzle, Old Cape Cod, and she didn't have it anymore and wanted to know if I still wanted all the companion fabrics, and I was, yeah, I do. So different tasks for that. So I'm looking forward to do that, and I might do that tomorrow. I end up having a kind of a day off tomorrow after I run errands, so I can do those tomorrow. And then in other haul, I was watching Lindy Stitches. Steph Stephanie Webb. No, I wasn't. Scratch that. I just saw something else that I did get from the idea from her. I was watching Michelle Bendy's Stitchy, and she had just gotten this planner. And my mom been kind of, she saw, so my mom's favorite Flosstube channel right now is Brenda and the Serial Starter. She really enjoys Brenda and Laura, and they had just gotten, or they were using and showing how they were using the Book of Days that was done for cross stitch. And so my mom was wanting me to get one of those for myself for my cross stitch projects. Maybe she wanted one for herself, I don't know. But I have a house full of planners because I used to be into planner decoration, and I'm not anymore, but I still have a lot of empty journals, empty calendars, the whole thing. And just a calendar wasn't gonna meet my needs. So I was on Michelle Bendy's Stitches, and she was showing this planner, and she was kind of walking through it. I didn't even get through I didn't get through any further than this. And I said, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I need. It can be an inventory. It can be a, let's see, where's my, so you start, I mean, this is so me, you start with vision planning for the year, and then you pick your top 3 stitch goals. But what is really exciting to me, this whole part in the back that has the green on it, those are all project pages. And there might even be enough for all my projects that I got sitting around. There's stitch project plans, title, pattern, size, recipient, start date, the goal end date. Here's what I already have, and here's what I still need to get. And there's a place to sketch here, and I'm sure that would be of value to designers, but I don't design. But I'm thinking I can scan the picture off of the chart or just print it out, because I do get a lot of PDF charts now, and just put the picture here. Just glue it in here so I know what we're talking about, and then any notes that I make for myself here. That's what I need. This is going to serve my needs, and as soon as I saw this, I just went fast. There's a whole section of notes in the back, lots of pages for notes. Holidays are noted in here. And then friends and family interests. If I want to make anybody something, I can kind of keep track. What are they mentioning? Like if I were to do a cross stitch for my sister-in-law, for me, it would have something to do with a garden, because that's something we share. And then there's my wish list. What I need, and then things I, want to buy for myself because I need them, or things that I want to buy, or I want other people to get me as gifts. Hashtag list. I don't have a hashtag list. I need this so that I can actually participate in some of these. And then contacts. I would probably start putting for contacts, it's a name, a phone number, email, the people I watch on Flosstube, the shops that I have ordered from, the Etsy shops, to have a whole list of those with their Etsy names here would really be a help to me. So I'm excited, obviously, to get this. But what my mom was excited about the Book of Days, was that Brenda and Laura were working with this. And I had seen this at Costco and almost bought it 2 or 3 times last year. But I didn't, and my mom got excited about it, so I ordered one for her and one for myself. And there are just a whole bunch of really wonderful stickers in here that I can use. Like, I'm thinking of those project pages, and I have multiple Halloween projects going. So I'm thinking that I can decorate those pages in this planner with these stickers, which is in a good time to show you one of my Michael's purchases. I just loved the look of it. I don't know if you follow Frank the Gargoyle, The Adventures of Frank the Gargoyle, a person living in a community, we'll just leave it at that. On her front porch, it's not a huge front porch, a small front porch, has had a gargoyle for years sitting there. And one of the people who she unfortunately named Karen, because in our current vernacular it fit, left her a nasty note saying that Frank was not festive enough for Christmas and she should remove Frank from her porch. It just blew up into the most wonderful community of people who are kind of like, you know, someone needs to mind their own business. And she took Frank on a whole Christmas adventure that was just a blast to watch. He got decorated, he got friends, they did things together. And eventually what she did was start a fundraising page where Frank could raise money. Like one of her projects was the food bank, their local food bank. And I want to say she ended up raising like $25,000 for the food bank, something like that. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun to follow it on Facebook. And, you know, she actually posted something recently. She was asked to bring Frank to the food bank for publicity pictures. So she loaded Heavy Frank up and took him there. And this woman actually left a note to her saying, oh, good, I'm glad you finally saw, you know, the truth and the wisdom and removed this figure. So, you know, really. Any rate, this reminds me of the plague doctor that she added to the display for part of the story that she built around Frank. Let's see if I can. But that I immediately saw it and thought of Frank the Gargoyle and said, you know, one of my Halloween finishes is going to have this thing on it. And I don't know which one it's going to be, but I just kind of fell in love with it, and it brought back the more nice memories of COVID that I can get, the better off I'm going to be. So I picked that up yesterday. And yes, my mom is getting a copy of the sticker book. And then I had ordered, and I think the credit for this, or the blame, either way, I would have to go back and rewatch several Flosstubes to be sure, and I'm not sure, but I think it goes to Pam, Stephanie and Pam maybe, on Keep On Stitchin', or maybe Becca on Sambry Stitches. I don't remember who had it, but it was the Emma Congdon Cross Stitch for the Earth book that just came out. And it was EJ on Sunshine Stitchers. She was working on an Emma Congdon piece, Christmas piece, I think. And then I realized I had one in my stash from just Cross Stitch magazine. No, Cross Stitch, one of the British magazines, Cross Stitch Crazy or Cross Stitcher, I can't remember right now. I think it later appears in her Cross Stitch for the Soul book, which I do not have, so I'm not sure. But it's a narwhal, and it's done in all purples and pinks, and it says, be so awesome, people think you're a myth. And I just loved it. I haven't done it. It's kitted. It was part of Mania Starts last year, but I haven't done any more work on it. But this one, this is mine. And I think the one, let's see if I can just find the picture. Yeah, it'll be in here. This was the one that interested me in it. Sorry, it got to 4 gigabytes and turned off. We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. This has been a favorite piece of wisdom in my life since I was a kid, since I was a teenager at the beginning of the Earth Day movement. So I definitely want it at some point, but when I started going through the book, the one I really fell in love with was this one. It says, enjoy all the little things. and there's just, it's surrounded by bugs and birds and little critters. There's a mouse on a mushroom and caterpillars, and the gardener and me just fell in love with it. So that will be the first one that I start. But this is just the joy of Flosstube, I think, is this community sharing what they find out, and us having a chance to know about something we didn't even know existed. I knew this existed. I think somebody mentioned it, and mentioned that particular we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors piece. But I went to buy it then and couldn't. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then just a few days later, I think it was Steph and Brenda were talking about it, and I think she was showing it. And I said, that's it, that's the book. And I hit pause and went on Amazon, and sure enough, it had come out. So I bought that. And then this was, I honestly teared up when I opened this. This was the May Bag of the Month Club GaRon Tottenbag bag. Have you ever seen anything so happy in your whole life? They do such wonderful work, but this fabric is killer. And then they surprised us with a notions bag. The generosity of those guys is unbelievable. And this, I showed it to my mom, and she fell in love with it. Now, those guys won't reuse this fabric for a year. They honor their club members by making it exclusive for the first year after they've used it. But I really wanted to do something for my mom, because she just loved it when she saw it. So I went looking, and I found it. The designer is Debi Payne, which was, I thought, the universe telling me I needed to buy this fabric, because we even spell our names the same, D-E-B-I. And first of all, I found the fabric. It's called Carnival. And let me make sure I've got this right. Yeah, I don't have the receipt with me. quiltingtreasures.com. I bought it from Over the Rainbow. I'm pretty sure I still have that receipt, so I'll just make sure that I get it located and all. But yeah, I was able to get, I think there's 3 yards there of that. So I can make my mom a project bag before Sunday. And then I went snooping around, and there are companion pieces. Now, I don't know which of these is companion and which is the real thing, but here's one. And then here's another one. And then here is another one. And I don't know if this is a companion for the Carnival line, but it's definitely her, Debi Payne. And when I retired, my whole life I've been afraid of heights, or at least since I was 8 and rode the Matterhorn at Disneyland for the first time. The whole up climb was just looking down at the floor of the mountain. And I was just a kid when I rode it, and I was terrified every time. I love roller coasters, and I love that one, and I rode it all the time. But every time we climbed up, I was like this until we got to the top. At any rate, one of the things I wanted to do when I retired was take a hot air balloon flight, because I'm afraid of heights. And I said that would be a really cool thing to do to kick off this retirement on the right kind of a note. So this is another one of her brightly colored. You know, to find this, I put in the word psychedelic, because it reminds me of some of the, in fact, my mother made me a dress when I was in the 8th grade that was black and yellow stripes that shimmered. It was so, everything was so bright. So that's that. And I'm gonna make, like I said, that project bag for my mom and probably another one for myself. But I want to make the two for her, the Waisaki print and this one, get that done this weekend. And then she won't know because I won't get this posted before Mother's Day, I'm sure. And I don't think she watches mine. She gets to see all my stuff in person. Also, as far as haul, I decided to give Fat Quarter Shop one more try. And this time, to do it right, I ordered the sail away goodies because it seems to me that in the shadows of the mystery chart, there was a lighthouse, and I'm a lighthouse nut. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. Not gonna get into the whole story. I got excited about this one, so I bought the fabric. This is A Touch of Blue by Vikult, which I think everybody says Wichult Imports in Denmark. And it's a 14 count Aida, so it'll be really easy for me with my eyes to work on. And then these are the color and cotton colors that they chose. I wanted to go with these instead of the DMC, just to give them a try. I don't have any color and cotton flosses, and I love variegated flosses, so I decided to go ahead and get these. Bing Cherry, Bumblebee, Delft Blue, Dark Indigo, Nickel, Silver Lining, Spectre, and 2 Pearl Whites. And these say to me, we're going out on the ocean. And there's a lighthouse in there somewhere. And then this is the bag, much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, nicer than I thought it was going to be. It looked good enough in the picture, but when you see it for person, even better. And it's big, it's mesh. And so that's good for breathing fabric, I guess. So that all came today. That, the planner, and one other thing. What was the other thing? Oh, not the book. Oh, all the fabric. All the Debi Payne fabric came today. So that was fun. I just said we had the best day. I had the best 2 days. Yesterday, like I said, I took my mom to Michael's for the first time. It's the first time she's been to Michael's. She's been to Joanne a couple of times, but Michael's is in the next town. And so I took her to Michael's, and then our favorite restaurant has reopened, Dine In. The owner that we know and have loved for 30 years sold it to his sons, and they are just delightful. And so we're really having fun now, kind of rekindling our appreciation for this restaurant. Anyway, so it made for a really nice day for both of us. And then today, for the first time, my son brought my 2 grandsons over to play while Grandma was here. He's brought them to my house once. And I have done a lot of renovating and kind of getting things set up so it would be safe for kids again. And I could tell when I got home the first time that they'd had fun, because the little Hot Wheels cars were kind of lined up differently, and they had played with everything that I'd left for them to play with, and then they had put it all away. Not the way I had it, but that's okay. They took the time to put that away. And so today he wanted to bring them, this was my Mother's Day visit, to bring them while I was here. And I got to hold the baby virtually the whole time. And he's 5 months old, as cute as he can be. And then his big brother, there has not been a time when that kid was not adorable. He is really a sweetheart and fun to watch. And it was just a lovely morning, couple hours. They played with trucks, and they played with bubbles, and they fed my tortoises, and they, I even had an apple. He asked if he could have an apple, and I'm like, do I have any apples? But I had some small Honey Crisps in the refrigerator, and they were in perfectly good condition. So I got to be grandma for the day. And I do have an appointment to have a visit, a FaceTime visit with that friend who moved to Washington at 2:30. So I have to finish this up. It's almost time to get ready for that. But the point of all that was that at Michael's, I found 2 decorations for 4th of July. One I don't have out. It's a metal thing with firecrackers. Look for it. I don't see any way to use it for decorating cross stitch, so I didn't bring it in today. But they're so cute that I think when that line goes on sale, I'm going to go back and see if I can get it. I bought it at regular price, and I want to see if I can get it at a discount and get a couple, maybe get 2 more. But then I saw they did have a lot of the boxes that Priscilla and Chelsea have been using to finish their pieces with the gingham around the edges. They're about this big. I didn't get any of them just because I didn't. But as I looked down at one of the shelves and I saw this box with the stars, and I said, now that really appeals to me. Plus it's bigger than those little boxes, and I probably could fit something in it. And that's all. I picked it up to put it in my bag or in my basket or wherever I was, just based on the stars and the size of it. And then I saw what the front looked like, and it's this darling little house. Isn't that cute? And this is metal, so I can pop that off of there, I think. And then I'm looking for, I had this in my cart on Etsy for quite a while, and I went ahead and bought it last night. I think if I do this, if I leave off the top and bottom borders on this, but this is Sweet Land of Liberty by Cherry Hill Stitchery, Deanna at Cherry Hill Stitchery. And I think if I do it on a 20 count Aida and leave off the top and bottom flowered borders, I think I can fit it in here. I think I can fit it in this part of this box. And then the star can be up at the top. So we'll see. I ordered 3 pieces of 20 from my Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy. One of them especially, it almost looked like this color, except that it had faint splotches of red in it. And I said, sorry, I'm getting my nose stitching. And I thought, yeah, that might work. I might be able to make that work for this. So that's it. Progress plans is to continue with Stitch for Sweet Freedom and Mermaid Life and get started on Charles Wysocki, make some project bags, and when that fabric comes in for Sweet Land of Liberty, I can get started on that. I'm feeling pretty good. And so this one probably will get edited together and posted. And other things, I do have new Rae Dunn stuff, but if it doesn't specifically apply to stitching, I'm not going to share it in Flosstube. I will do a separate playlist of my collections. I don't think I'm a hoarder, but I love being a fan, and I like to collect things when I'm a fan. So I'm going to be sharing some of those in that area. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for visiting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.